Welcome to the SNPs training video on the client waitlist and booking standing appointments. At SNPs, we offer two valuable services to our clients. The first is a waitlist. If a client is not able to get in as soon as they would like with a specific service provider or with any service provider, and they would like to be notified when there's an opening, we can add them to our client waitlist. The other service is standing appointments. This is for clients who come in for services on a regular basis and want to book out their appointments for up to 1 year in advance to ensure that they get the exact day and time and service provider that they prefer. Often we have promotions in November, December for booking standing appointments, so a client could get a gift certificate or there's some sort of promotion to entice them to book their standing appointments. There are a lot of reasons why those are valuable, not the least of which is the convenience for the client. So let's look at the client wait list. To schedule a client on the wait list, we're in the booking screen. Go to the very bottom, and on the bottom row, find wait list. Let's open that up. First, we need to add the customer information. You can search or add a new customer exactly like you can in a ticket. I'm going to add my name. There I am. Great. So the next section is specific criteria for service provider and service. If I am looking to get in first service and I just want to get in first available and it does not matter who I see because all of the service providers at SNPs are amazing, I would leave this information blank. If I really want to get in with a specific service provider, then I'm going to enter the staff information. I can enter the code if I know it. Let's book an appointment with Erica. If I just hit tab or return, it pulls Erica up. Of course, we can also search for the staff member here. Next, we're going to enter the service. Now keep in mind, often with color services, a client also wants a cut, and we can only enter one service. So what I usually recommend is adjusting the time. So for instance, or maybe a brow wax, that's easier. So I'm gonna request a women's haircut, but I also want a brow wax. So I am going to adjust this time to 1 hour to allow time for that brow wax. And in the notes, I am going to include women's haircut and brow wax. All right, and then the time range, and I am available. I want to get in any time of day, but between certain dates. So I am going to select the 12th, and it's important that when I select the 12th, I go over here and say set date. So here's my date range here, and then through the 17th. And then the same thing, I need to be sure to set the date. So you can see the date range here, the 12th to the 17th. Select date. So now I have said that I'm looking for a women's haircut. I indicated I also want a brow wax, so I extended that service time. And I can do a couple of things. I can search the book right now, and it will look and say, these times are already available for that. Let's pretend that nothing came up in there. Obviously, if any of these times showed up, I would say, you know, it looks like Erica does have an appointment on Wednesday the 15th at 2 o'clock, beginning at 2 o'clock, excuse me, and could do that haircut and brow wax for you. Let's pretend that this came up blank. Then we're going to select Add to Waitlist. Now you can see I have been added to the waitlist for that time period. The next service we're going to look at is standing appointments. Again, starting from the schedule or the appointment book, we're going to look on the very bottom and find stand appointments, which is short for standing appointments. The first thing we are going to do is search for a customer or add a new client. I am going to enter my name in and select myself. So this is used when a client wants to come in on a very regular basis, but very specific days and times for their services. This is very common with nail appointments, especially someone who is on a routine for doing the gel manicure, the shellac polish, and they do that faithfully every 2 weeks. They come in on their lunch hour, so their time is limited, or they're doing acrylic fills and they want to keep on top of that, and maybe like every third or fourth time they may choose to do a new full set, but they come in like every 3 weeks on a regular basis. So this is the purpose of standing appointments. It's a great service for our clients, and guaranteed bookings for our service providers, which is wonderful. So let's pretend I want to book standing appointments with Erica. So I'm going to add her staff initials, just like on the wait list, or I can search. And the service is, a fill, and acrylic fill. It automatically adds in the service length. Now I'm going to pick a start date. So let's pick a date. You need to select that black arrow for the drop-down menu, and I want to start on, let's do Sunday the 19th, and I'm going to end, let's just go through the end of the year, Sunday the 27th. Now here's an important piece, days between services. So if I want to come in for a fill, let's say every 4 weeks, there's 7 days in a week, that is 28 days. So I have to put in the number of days. Now I want to be sure I'm selecting Sunday because I can only come in on Sundays, and then my requested time at noon. Remember, when booking appointments, we always need to be sure that we have the correct guest retention. So I am a request customer. I am requesting Erica for this service. So I have all of my parameters entered now. Now I'm going to check the books to see if those dates and times work. And I'm going to select trial booking. So you can see here, I can book appointments on these dates. Unfortunately, Erica is not available on 2 of these dates. It's important to check the unsuccessful bookings. Make note of the dates and times. If there are more than 2, we may ask a guest to consider different day or time. In this case, there's only 2. So what I can do is make note of those 2 dates, just write them down on a separate piece of paper, and then I can select book now. I'm not going to do this right now, where it will actually book the appointments, and it will book these 4 appointments. Then I can go back to the books and look on July 19th and October 11th to see if there is an alternate time that would work. So that's kind of a general overview of how standing appointments work. Some clients, we have a couple that book multiple services each time they come in. We can only book 1 service at a time when we're doing standing appointments. So that means I would say I wanted to add a pedicure with all of these. I would need to book this and then go back in and follow the same process with a pedicure. When I do that, so that I would say, let's do the acrylic fill at noon, and I want to do a pedicure at 1 o'clock. So I would fill up my parameters, the same dates, the same day, the same number of days in between, change the time to 1 o'clock and do a trial booking and see what happens. When there are multiple services being booked, it can get a lot more complicated. So we sometimes recommend that you work on those type of standing appointments when you're going to be uninterrupted. If you are a service provider booking your own appointments, you know when you're available, you know the flexibility, you know your client's needs. If you are a guest services member booking standing appointments and you get to a standing appointment that's complicated to figure out, please ask the service provider to get involved, because again, they know what adjustments they can make to their books, etc., to make those appointments work for their client. If you have questions, ask a shift leader or a manager.